The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Coming to you live.
We're live.
In front of an audience from around the world, where we talk about fighters, fighting, and events. Welcome to Fight World Live, where you can hear about the latest in the world of combat sports. Get ready to gear up and square up, because we are going live. And now, broadcasting live.
Super broadcast live.
This is Fight World Live.
Oh my goodness, holy shit. Welcome to another edition of Fight World Live on Amazon Prime. We are here with four-time world champion, Mr. Gabe. Gabe, how you doing, brother?
Another day in paradise, my friends.
Absolutely.
Another day in paradise.
Awesome. And we're also here with Dylan Danis' biggest fan. Also, Power Slap's biggest fan. Self-admittedly, watched it last night. We're here at one point in time considered one of the best fighters in the world, Thunder, Jake Hatton. Jake, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Well, let me clarify. I watched one social media clip. That doesn't mean I watched Power Slap.
Wait, Jake, I can't. Jake, I'm so sorry. I can't hear you. I'm so sorry. I must
one
interrupt this
clip.
broadcast. We have the man himself, the president, co-owner of Misfits Boxing.
Yeah.
This guy sold 1.3 million with an M pay-per-views on DAZN on DAZN. Ladies and gentlemen, Mams Taylor.
Hey, yeah.
How are you guys?
Looking rough, mate.
I was just on the ranch. I was doing rancher duties, so excuse my appearance. I would normally I was trying to break out the suit because I've known Gabe a long time, and I wanted to impress, but yeah, I didn't get the time.
Not today. Not impressed.
Yeah, but this is what an exec in the fight business that I'm in should look like, to be honest with you.
That's fair.
And you guys actually know each other, and Gabe warned me beforehand not to kiss your ass too hard, so I will do my very best, good sir. But I have to say, congratulations on an amazing event. I mean, entertainment personified. And I was even telling these guys, as far as an entertainment is concerned, I thought it was way better than Canelo's fight. Canelo's fight, I rather, the Canelo's fight and the pageantry and everything like that and how slow it was. I mean, it could put NyQuil to sleep. But your event was action-packed, top to bottom, an amazing event. So how does it feel to put on such a great event?
Man, I really appreciate that. And look, the difference with our events is our audience is invested from start to finish. So if you come to a Misfits boxing event, you're going to see a full crowd. Once the prelims are done, it's already packed. It's similar to UFC, like a big UFC card in that vein. It's different from traditional boxing. I was asking a few of my boxing expert friends on a weekly YouTube vid we do with the Small Council. I don't know if you're aware of those guys. I was asking them, hey, biggest pay-per-view of all time, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, name two other fights on that card. And they couldn't, Yeah. And most purists can't because they're not invested in that. If you go to the arena, if you go to the stadium, wherever these fights are, it's full, right for the main event. But before that, it's pretty much empty, So that's something that we do different. We take pride in that. As far as this event, it was like throwing an amazing party. The Great Gatsby just came and put on a great party, and then somebody OD'd and died at the end. That's how I felt. So
That's a good party.
yeah, well, it was until the end. I mean, it sucked for me because obviously KSI is my partner. I felt very strongly that he was robbed of that moment, that decision. He went in there to fight Tommy with a specific strategy to take away his jab, and he confused him and rattled him, and he, you know, we all felt he won 3 or 4 rounds. So, you know, that sucked, and I know how hard he worked for that. But look, I think as a whole, it's a super entertaining space, and that's what we want to put on. We've got guys who've boxed for 3 months, and you know, they're YouTubers or they're a magician on TikTok or something like that. And then we got MMA guys, we got some pro boxers, and then we got guys like KSI and you know, people of that level who have committed now for a long time to live and breathe like a fighter. So they're improving at a really, really fast pace with teams that they hire that the average person who wants to be a boxer won't get that level of detail and attention because they have to go through a different route. And it, again, sorry, I'm kind of rambling here, but and KSI's put in 15 years of work to get to that space, to get to that stage, to be able to do that. So, you know, I see people shitting on that. Oh, the traditional boxer has to go through the mill and do these shows and do this and that and get $200. I get it. I get the frustration, but we're not encroaching on that space, you know? Yeah. So we're contributing to it, really, if you look at it. The
way you're looking at it, it's a different product, right? Like you have your traditional boxing and the way that it's built up. Your product is it boxing? Yes, but it's a different product in the same space.
It's like if WWE and UFC had a baby and put 10-ounce gloves on it, you know? And the difference is, there's a lot of differences to WWE, obviously. There's no predetermined outcomes for anything. Even our tag team matches or the survivor tags and all these concepts. As someone who's been a fan of combat sports from very young and sports entertainment, this is like a dream come true to be able to create this mini universe and watch it keep growing. I mean, we've only been around for about 14 months now, and it's pretty incredible the pace it's going at. And we've just renewed, we've got a 5-year deal with DAZN, and for next year, they want us to put on 16 shows. There's all kinds of exciting stuff going on internationally. I can't speak on too much yet, but we're expanding all the time, and you'd be surprised how many people are in the DMs that have been UFC champions, that have been, that do traditional boxing with 16-0, 17-0 records. And they're like, you know what? We want to come to Misfits Boxing. We know you take care of the fighters. You pay us fairly. We take care of anyone. The insurance is good. All the stuff that we've seen being big criticisms of these other organizations, I wanted to hone in on and make us different and really give the attention that the fighters deserve. They're the ones that are putting their bodies at risk, and I wanted to take care of them. But that's not to say that some of them are ungrateful bastards as well. So, when we get that, I don't appreciate it. But I want to go the extra mile and make sure that our guys are taken care of. And yeah, we this is just the beginning. So we plan to keep growing at this rate.
A couple of things I wanted to pinpoint also. Tag team match, absolutely bonkers. It went to a draw, but those 4 guys went after it. Like, it was action-packed from the beginning of the fight to the end of the fight. That was amazing. Anthony Prettyboy Taylor, who's a friend of mine. And by the way, he said the difference between him fighting on Showtime, which me and my fiance, we actually went to the weekend I got engaged just to cheer him on. Night and day, he said. You guys treat him so well, and getting to see him win the championship, a friend of mine, and especially he's been on the show before, getting to see win a championship was awesome. And all 3, by the way, the main event was incredible. And all 3 of us actually agree that Dylan Danis won all 6 rounds. So, maybe we can clarify, because Gabe agreed with me and Jake agreed with me. So if you can add some clarity to that, sir.
David Potter is a complete and utter liar. Completely utter liar. Just want to clarify that right now. But yeah, proceed.
I think, yeah, man, if you look through Stevie Wonder's lens, maybe you have a point there. But otherwise, Also, I'm not trying to offend blind people. Don't cancel me, guys. Whoever.
Most of our viewers are blind. Good job.
Yeah. So I think Dylan came in with a game plan, and there wasn't much else he could do, except I think what he could have done differently is the moments that Logan might be slightly fatiguing and taking those deep breaths, Dylan should have let his hands go a little bit more. But it's a different sport, and he's a jiu-jitsu master, and it's I don't know. He thought his toughness would carry. I don't know what he thought, honestly. We didn't even know he was going to show until the last minute, but I did vouch that he would, and he did. So props to him. He did it, and he texted me yesterday. He said, "I told you I won't let you down this time." And so he promoted it a little bit too well, I think, as well. But not in the most tasteful way. And I'll tell you this, guys. One of the hardest things about the lead up to this was the conflicted position I was in, where Logan's my business partner, great guy. We get along great, super smart and empathetic. You can have a real conversation with him about anything. And then my job was basically, I need to make sure I don't have egg on my face again and have Dylan not turn up. So I'm speaking to him on a daily basis. How are you feeling? What are you up to? And through that process, it's very hard not to see the human side of someone and start liking them. So I'm like, fuck, yeah, this guy's okay. Aside from all this Twitter shit, he's actually not a bad guy at all. So, there was a lot of conflict there. And I'm glad it's all over. I'm glad the Twitter wars and all that stuff, I don't have to be like, Dylan, you can't tweet this. You can't do that. You're going too far and all that shit, So it's nice. It's nice that it's finally behind me.
Well, David has been licking Dylan's balls for months and months. So obviously that human trait makes sense, because he likes the smell of the permeation of the nuts.
Right here, buddy. Right here. Jay, come on, back me up here, man. What's going on here?
Yeah, how does
let me back Gabe up here about the. Sorry, Potter. Hey, Mams, I got to tell you also, when you said the UFC and WWE crossover, baby, all I could think of was Brock Lesnar in a diaper. It was a terrible image. Terrible image.
That's not bad. I mean, listen, people pay for that kind of stuff. I don't know.
Right.
I wouldn't. I've got a question for you, Mams.
Sure, Gabe.
Maybe people don't know this, but you can box yourself, my man. And when are you getting into the ring? That's what I want to know. When is the mighty Mams Taylor going to get involved and get some rounds in?
Honestly, I work 18-hour days between the horses and the ranch and the business and the music and the management and the prime, all this shit. I don't think I have the time. I box every day for 1 hour, 5 days a week.
Okay.
But that's not enough, man. And these guys are getting better as well. They're getting better. They're committed. They do 2 a days for 8 weeks for their camps. If you look at a lot of these kids and how they've improved, that's one of the things I love about this is you've got kids who've lost 100 pounds and were depressed before they did this. And not just the stars that are on Misfits, you literally have like parents emailing you, but they're emailing me all the time. They're emailing KSI, DMing us, thank you so much. My son was depressed. And then the kid saying, hey, I just want to be on Misfits one day. Gyms, I've spoken to multiple gym owners in the UK. They're like, we're like 400, 500% over capacity compared to last year and shit. So the inspirational aspect of it is really important. And we're going to, just touching on that, we're going to expand that and provide facilities for kids who are underprivileged and unable to do these things and find a place that's safe for them to develop skills in boxing and music and stuff like that. So that aspect was always important to KSI and myself. Nikisa, if he says he would fight me, I would tie one hand behind my back and fight him happily any day of the week. I don't need a camp. I don't need anything. I can be my right hand behind my back. I don't care at this point. But other than that, I don't see myself getting in the ring again.
Who's Nikisa? I don't know.
That's Jake Paul's manager.
I want to watch that then. Yes. Let's do it.
Mr. Taylor, if you fight again, we will hype it up like the second coming of Christ. We will sell more than 1.3 million pay-per-views. You team up with us, my friend, and we got you right to the bank, my friend.
Can you guys corner me as well?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I got you.
All right, it's a win-win.
Yeah, there you go. Look it, you heard it here first.
And I can't touch Jake and Gabe's knowledge and experience, but if you need an experienced water boy, I would love to put in my resume. I would love to shoot that over to you.
They'll make sure the jewels are taken care of.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I need a good cup, and yeah, perfect.
Nice lathering before. Yeah, I got you, brother. I got you. So back on topic, obviously 1.3 million pay-per-views. And last time I checked, it's the highest grossing combat sports event in 2023, and on the all-time ranked, it's top 10. So when's the next event? Is KSI going to fight again? Because everyone said that he wasn't a boxer, he's a YouTuber and everything like that. Like, bullshit. He went the distance with Tommy Fury, and with the Tommy Fury legacy and the Fury legacy at that. I mean, when's the next event that we can look forward to?
It's well, the next event is November 17th, so that's just around the corner. Then we're taking a break for Christmas, and then we'll be back in February in Brazil. We're gonna do about 5 or 6 shows in the States as well. Some big plans for pay-per-views. We got 4 pay-per-views next year, and then the rest of the shows are free to air. So we got a big schedule and it's piling up, and like I say, the demand is there. The fighters. When we first started this, it was difficult not to make mismatches because you had like 20 people that wanted to do it, you know, and then it's grown so much. It's crazy. I mean, I don't have enough cards to facilitate all the credible people that want to be on the card. And when I say credible, I mean credible for what our brand is about, you know. Not everyone is a credible boxer, obviously. But yeah, man, it's you guys are welcome to come to any of our shows. Love to have you there. Yeah, but I think we're gonna do the Prime Card 2 next year, and it's gonna blow this one out the water. So yeah, got some big plans.
Jake and Gabe, if you want to sign up for Misfits Boxing and be on that card, I mean, these two were supposed to fight at one point in time. Like, I had no idea, by the way, that you guys knew each other because I was nerd raging about Misfits Boxing. Gabe's like, wait a second, I know Mams Taylor. I'm like, God damn it, Gabe, you could have told me this beforehand, and we could have brought him on and completely nerd raged after the event. But Jake, Gabe, I mean, Mams, Mr. Taylor, if you need 2 fighters, I know 2 fighters right here. If you want to throw them on the card too.
You know, it's Gabe. Obviously, you remember Chad.
Oh yeah, of course.
Chad and I spoke, and he's possibly going to be on a Misfits card at some point. I think that'll be
fun.
Yeah. But
Mams, I had no idea whatsoever that you had anything to do with Misfits Boxing until our last show. And then I was like, he goes, Mams Taylor. I go, wait a minute, I know Mams Taylor. And then I realized it because I know that you work with KSI. But I thought that was all in the music. I didn't realize that there was anything outside of that. And then lo and behold, I looked and I was like, I've known Mams way before you even worked with KSI.
Oh yeah, way before. I think it was I think it was when I was going through my 3rd divorce when we started hanging out.
Not wrong, my friend. I don't want to get too personal, but it was prior to your divorce when you were trying to make it work.
Oh yeah. Well, you got to go through that stage before the divorce.
You do. Yes, you
do. Times, but
times, my man. No, I've known you a long time, and you're one of the most exceptional people that I've met. And I was like, let's definitely get him on the show because it's just an opportunity to talk to a friend.
No, I appreciate that. Likewise, man. It was good hearing from you. And
although you look rough, I gotta say.
I do, bro. I've not slept. I'm jet lagged. But you know, we'll. I gotta try this. I don't know what's the solution. Drink more water. Do some Botox. I never done that shit before, so
might be a good idea. Are you back in the States now?
Oh yeah, I'm in Tennessee. I'm on my ranch, and I love it, man. I honestly, one thing I wish I did differently is I just wish I moved to the countryside years and years ago. It's a different kettle of fish, you know. Sure. The lifestyle, and I think this is what balances everything out for me, because getting up at 5:30 in the morning and shoveling horse shit keeps you grounded, and it's therapeutic, and it sounds terrible, but it's really fun actually.
No, not at all. Doesn't
Also,
sound-
horse shit doesn't smell that bad. You know that?
I don't
No
know
idea.
that. I've yet to shovel in it.
All right. Well, I got to invite you over. You can help me
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I get invited over to shovel shit. That sounds like a good time.
I mean, I crushed at Jake's house, and his shit smells like excellence. I mean, it's Jake Hatton, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I didn't know that shit doesn't stink. Besides Jake Hatton. So.
Hey, Mams, I've shoveled some horse stalls. I know what horse shit smells like. It's not as bad.
It's not as bad. It's different.
Yeah.
I wonder what. Well, it's probably because they just eat grass and hay. You know.
Yeah,
It's
probably what's eaten is probably. Actually, you know what? I have smelled plenty of horse shit. I don't think I've shoveled much of it, but I definitely have smelled it. So.
Yeah, manure. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't smell bad compared to like dog shit. But anyway, we should.
Not every day. Dog shit every day. So, yeah.
I actually, and Mr. Taylor, I actually was shoveling shit last week because Jake and Gabe were actually making fun of me because I love Dylan Danis and because I love Power Slap. So I was shoveling a lot of shit last week. So yeah, I am experienced in the field, sir. Yes.
So do you guys think? Where do you think Dylan's gonna? And do you think he'll end up on the UFC or no?
No.
Would you hire him back?
It's possible.
I would. Yeah, I would. I just. Yeah, I just do things a little bit differently. But I think, he was confusing because fans weren't sure if he was going to show up or not. And honestly, at some point that exhausts the fan and they lose interest. So, I think he did bring a lot of attention to the fight. I'll be honest with you. I think as an event, production-wise and everything else, it was amazing. The two main events were not the prettiest boxing matches to watch. But if you watch Dean and Dean the Great against Waleed too, those guys, Dean's gonna be a top 15 boxer in his division in the world within the next year. He's incredible, very, very talented. And then Salt Pappy and Slim, if you're familiar with the characters, these guys, they put on a show. I'll tell you a tidbit. It was very, very close for us to have Mike Perry versus Jake Botswick as a late addition, but we just couldn't make that happen. But
I know you had Mike Perry as the backup, and actually, I thought that would have been a really fun fight. Mike Perry never has boring fights, and he's a gamer. That guy, I like watching the guy fight.
Fucking savage.
yeah, he's very entertaining. I saw him at a BKFC event against our guy Michael Venom Page, and that didn't go my MVP's way, but it was
that was a surprise.
Well,
he got hit pretty bad with the first punch, and his kind of lost his equilibrium for the rest of the fight. But listen, no excuses. It was a close fight. I think the decision could have gone either way on that, but Mike Perry's a hell of a tough guy. Where I give Logan a lot of credit is in our Prime group chat. We got the 6 partners of Prime in this group chat on WhatsApp, and I was like, bro, if Dylan doesn't show, these are the prospects, I think, as a replacement opponent. And he went right to Mike Perry, and that was the toughest guy on the list. And so,
big props to Logan, Logan and Jake. Those guys train. I'll never take anything away from them because they train hard. You got to respect them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Logan as a WWE athlete is freaking incredible. Me as a long-time wrestling fan, pro wrestling fan, it's I've never seen someone sort of become this good this quickly. So,
and the wrestlers seem to like him too, because you listen to his podcast and he has some big names on there. So that's pretty impressive. They've taken him in.
And it was only his second or third match, and he put on a fucking 5-star classic with Roman Reigns, which Roman Reigns is at the top of his game right now, upper echelons, a part of that Samoan wrestling dynasty. And he put on a 5-star quality match in Saudi Arabia. Holy shit, that was mind-blowing. And you could really tell the potential as a pro wrestler and as an entertainer from Logan Paul. So I have to agree with you there.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. He's a natural, and he's just a super athletic guy. And I think Jake as well. You gotta give him credit. They've been very smart with who they've picked for his fights, at what stage they picked him, because at the end of the day, you get to say you beat Anderson Silva. You get to say you beat Nate Diaz.
Nah. I mean, yes, but if I beat Anderson at chess, that doesn't mean I beat Anderson Silva.
Anderson Silva used to be a great boxer, though. You know,
that's fair. That's fair.
His first boxing fight was 1998, I believe. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, but it's like saying that you beat Roy Jones when Roy was in his 50s. Like,
no, remember that Evander Holyfield fight when didn't he fight Vitor?
Oh God,
Vitor
oh,
Of course, if Evander was in his prime, it would be a different outcome, you know. And listen, Vitor's great. He's one of my all-time favorite fighters. Yeah, from the time I saw him fight Tankaba and Vanderlei Silva, those blitzes, I was like, this is my guy. This is the guy I'm rooting for. He was electric, just crazy. So he's a dangerous guy. I'm not taking anything away from him, but it was sad to watch. It was sad for me to see that after, you know, being an Evander fan as well. And just, so I think, look, Anderson's not quite as punchy as you know, he's not as punch drunk as at all as Evander. But look, I'm 45 years old. I know my legs aren't what they used to be. I know when I get hit, I feel it the next day a lot more than back in the day in my 20s. If I could go home, jerk off, and play video games and not think about it twice. And now it's a different story. I walk around with ice packs and heat everywhere I am. So.
Yeah, you can't use your arm. You can't use your arms at all.
Oh, honestly, like I got bucked off my horse, and I'm 7 months ago, and I'm still injured. My wrist, my groin popped. This shit just every day. It's like life knows when you're 40. And it's just like, all right, motherfucker, watch what I'm gonna do to you. You can do all the hot yoga you want, and still I'm gonna give you these backaches and these knee pains, and so you know it starts to catch up with you, and that's why I think the picking from Jake has been very smart on the timing. But most people just say, hey, Jake Paul beat Anderson Silva. They're not factoring in all those things, you know. Some kids are the smart ones, but. The best was fighting Ben Askren. I mean, that was a great choice.
Oh,
you know?
Without question. That was like ridiculous. I didn't understand why Ben even took that fight. I mean,
he got a good check, man. He got a really good check, so that's why.
Yeah, that helps. That helps. Yeah.
So one more question before we go into 5 topics. We ask you 5 topics from the fans. With Jake Paul, obviously you worked with Logan Paul. Obviously, you guys had a great event together, and you guys are great partners. Does Jake Paul sign on the dotted line? Does he pop up at a Misfits boxing event?
Anything's possible. Anything's possible. So KSI was supposed to fight Jake Paul. Everybody pretty much knows that's the fight the internet has wanted for how many years now? 4 years or whatever. And I think that would do the biggest pay-per-view in our space. You know, dare I say, even in boxing. Currently, listen, if you do 500,000 pay-per-views right now, it's like you're doing 1.5 million 3 years ago. The piracy, especially in our space, is out of control, and these kids are so savvy. So if you do 300,000 pay-per-views, that's a win. You know, it's not like it used to be in terms of numbers. So we got to be innovative and figure out new ways of presenting this to these really tech savvy kids. But that's another story. But I think with Jake and KSI, that it's something that has been inevitable, but I lost faith in it because we were certain that it was going to happen. We agreed the terms. Jake's manager and myself, we agreed the terms. Everything was going to go through. It was supposed to happen in December of this year. So it was supposed to happen in a couple of months from now, in Cardiff at a 90,000 person stadium. And then he fought Tommy Fury. He lost. And then he said, oh, I want to fight someone else. His manager told me the Jake fight's not on anymore. He wants to redeem himself and fight someone tougher than KSI. And then he fought Nate Diaz, which, no disrespect to Nate, he's a legend. I love the guy. I mean, I'm not dissing him at all, but as a boxer, KSI would have his way with Nate without a problem for sure. Oh yeah, KSI would be a much tougher opponent for Jake than Nate was. But listen, I mean, even though KSI's fight with Tommy was ugly, I don't know how you guys scored that fight how you saw it, but at the end of the day, the majority of people, especially even in the boxing space, even in the traditional boxing space, said it was a really ugly fight, but they gave 3 rounds to KSI. And then he got a point deduction. Tommy got a point deduction for
Hitting in the back of the head.
4 punches in the back of the head.
Yeah.
No, but it took 4 to get a point deduction. And speaking of equilibrium being lost, KSI he never complains, man. He's a tough kid. The chin on him is crazy. But when he got punched in the back of the head, he was like, bro, I was dizzy the whole fight, you know. But he's not the guy who's gonna say that, make excuses publicly. I'll tell the story, you know. But after those 4 punches, there were another 14 punches in the back of the head that you could count. So the referee should have at least taken another point away or given a disqualification. Look, the traditional boxing world can't have a YouTuber who's really seriously been boxing for over 15, 18 months. They can't have that kid come along and beat boxing royalty in the name of the Furies, you know? And Tommy Fury he even said it himself. If I don't put this guy away, it's a loss for me. I'm going to knock him out and all this tough talk, which is great for promo. But ultimately, Tommy Fury has been boxing since he's 6 years old. The fact that it was a fight where it could have gone anyone's way to a lot of people, and people think KSI won it, that's either it's a mixture of 2 things. It's a testament to how tough and how KSI's work ethic is insane. It's really, really something else. And also that Tommy is not such an incredible boxer. So it's a mixture of those 2 things. But he certainly won pretty clear cut against Jake. And styles do make fights, but because Jake was not going to take this fight, I think he just has too much to lose. If he loses to KSI, it's over for him, you know, because that's the beef. That's the biggest beef in our scene by far, bar none. If Jake loses to KSI, he's done. So when he refused to fight KSI, we said, all right, we got to fight the guy who beat Jake. And that's what pisses me off, is that we did everything that we needed to do, but didn't get that moment in the ring where they announced KSI as the winner. And Gabe, you've known me a long time. I'm a pretty introspective, sincere guy. I wouldn't care. I'm not a sore loser. If JJ's his real name, if he went out there and just got schooled and lost, all right, we have to accept it, and we'd be upset, and we'd learn from it, and we'd move on. But the way it all happened, it was just I feel bad for the kid because he got robbed of a magical moment as part of his legacy. That's all.
I agree. I watched the fight pretty carefully, and at worst a draw. At worst a draw. But I thought that referee lost such control of that fight, you know, and then, yeah, it was, but I definitely had KSI winning that fight.
I genuinely don't have I saw the highlights of or the lowlights of Paul versus Danis, and that was the only thing I saw. I saw some write-ups about the Fury KSI fight, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. So, but
yeah, it wasn't the prettiest boxing match, I'll say.
That's what I had read, that it was kind of ugly. But you know what? Sometimes that's you know, how fights go.
Yeah.
Styles, like you said earlier, styles make matchups, and I don't know. I don't know that I didn't know that Tommy Fury said if he didn't put him away, that was a loss. So I mean, the reality is, if the guy fights the way he's going to fight, you have to figure out a way of going around that. And if you're that much better of a boxer than him, his style shouldn't really matter, right?
No, exactly. But yeah, he executed the style well. If he went out there and tried to trade blows with Tommy and try to outbox Tommy, which I think is what Jake tried to do, you know, I think it would have been a similar outcome to the way it went with Jake, just because that experience does come into play. So if you're going to take a boxer like Tommy, you have to figure him out, especially his jab. He's got a very decent jab. KSI eliminated that jab with what people are calling the star jumps, you know, because he would get out of the line and he couldn't time it. So it was a good strategy. He's got a great team in London Shoot Fighters. I've known those guys That was the first gym I ever trained at. It was, those guys have been around for a long time, and they have MVP and a bunch of other boxers and MMA guys as well. So, he's in good hands. And I think KSI versus Jake, if it does ever happen, they just have so much animosity, and it's not an internet beef where it's just, all right, let's make shit tons of money and promote our fight. They legitimately do not like each other, like legitimately. So I don't think, I think strategy goes out the window in that fight, and they just go to kill each other.
All right, boys and girls. Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting you, Gabe.
I was going to say, I just heard that MVP signed to the UFC, so I didn't know that you're part of his career either. So congrats to him.
Well, yeah, I'm not part of his career as such, but the trainers that train KSI are really best friends of mine, and they train MVP as well.
Awesome. So, Mr. Taylor, are you ready for our favorite game of 5 topics where you answer 5 questions from the fans? Mr. Taylor, are you ready, sir?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. Let's play 5 topics, shall we? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for topic number 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do this. Let's go. Topic number 1. Let's go! Need a preview of coming attractions. Topic number 1, big names coming to Misfits Boxing. Is there anything you can release? Is there anybody you can name drop? Is there anybody that's coming? Give us a preview of coming attractions. What can you name drop for us? Or give us some clickbait.
All right. He's from Liverpool, and he's an MMA fighter.
Paddy Pimblett?
No.
Oh, he's signed.
Who's got new teeth? Till.
Yes.
Yeah, Darren Till. Thank you. I was trying to think of Till. He's not signed.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yeah. He's a misfit, man. That guy's a misfit through and through.
He's a perfect fit for you guys.
Yeah.
He is. I thought I'm going to be reading something, so I put my glasses on, but you're just asking me, right?
I mean,
correct.
there is. You look at the very bottom; it is going across the.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Anybody else you could release? That's mind blown. I know he was backstage, and I saw him backstage with Mike Perry, and they were wrestling around and stuff like that. Oh, that is fucking nuts. But is there anybody else you could release? Any other tidbits?
I'll just say this: there's going to be a lot of ex-UFC MMA guys that are going to be in the mix next year.
Okay. All right.
So,
Like maybe Ken Shamrock, Dan the Beast Severn, maybe. Like we throw a couple of old school names out there.
I'm gonna voice Gracie. I'll be so excited.
how old is Ken Shamrock?
I think he's 97.
He's 97.
Don't exaggerate. He's 84.
Poor Ken Shamrock. Yeah, I don't know. I would have loved it. I loved Ken Shamrock back in the day. I was pissed whenever he lost to Tito. He had a big rivalry with Tito, right? And before the choice.
3 fights.
Yeah, I wanted to make Chael Sonnen versus Tito happen.
Boxing?
Chael and I have a great relationship in boxing, yeah. But Tito never responded to my DMs. I didn't know how else to get hold of him.
Talking about he's because he's on the freeway begging for change in Florida.
So I can get him cheap, is what you're saying.
I've made, from my understanding, he was hurting badly. He just started a restaurant and it's had hands down the worst reviews ever.
I felt bad for him on that, man. I did.
I was like, oh, give it to me. Yes.
Gabe's the worst. You're the worst. You're horrible. Wait, we were all laughing about it. I'm sorry. We're reading the reviews on this show, by the way.
Oh man. Yeah, look, I don't know. I think I spoke to him a long time ago to be in my music video. I had this music video and I had Rampage in the music video with Mila Kunis and just random people. And I wanted Tito to be in it. And he was really polite. I got to say, he was a really nice guy. He was unavailable that weekend. But my interactions with him have always been, the 2 interactions I've had with him was very, very cool. So I hope he gets, is the restaurant still going?
No idea. Probably
No
not.
idea.
I hope I hope it works out for him anyway.
I don't.
But Mr. Taylor, if I could drop an idea for you, okay? So Tito Ortiz, color commentator, David Potter with Tito Ortiz, color commentating. I got 7 years of experience, baby, color commentating. You get me a mic with Tito Ortiz, it will be entertainment personified. I'll do it for free. Just saying.
I'm not mad at this idea, David.
Have you heard Tito do commentating?
No, how is he?
Oh, oof, oof.
No good?
Oh my gosh. Do yourself a favor. And there's probably about like, I don't know, 700, 800 of these of Tito Ortiz public speaking. Whenever I really want to like feel good about myself, I watch them.
Wow. Poor Tito. You don't like Tito.
Genuinely.
You know, I was there the night that Tito and Lee Murray got into it.
Oh, really?
Like Lee Murray, did it happen the way Gabe always said it? What happened?
Elaborate. Elaborate.
Elaborate.
I mean, all I saw, I was with my ex-wife at the time, and we were at this club called China White. I think it was at China White. And we were leaving the club, and I turned around, and people were scuffling within seconds. And it was Pat Miletich and Lee Murray and then Tito's crew. I think there was a misunderstanding, but I saw Lee soccer kick someone in the head, and they had a huge head. So I 100% say that was Tito because there was too much of a crowd, but they had, yeah. So I don't know who else he would have kicked, but he 1-2 punched him and then kicked him in the head, and it was quick. It was very quick. But man, that's such a waste about Lee. I wish things went differently for him. I think he would have been a huge star.
What a great story, though. What a great story. Like genuinely, like that guy, they should do a movie about.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how they haven't. There's a documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, that's crazy. That
Ever watched
documentary.
Is it out? Can I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna look for it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, so we veered way off topic. Are you ready for topic number 2, good sir?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Topic number 2.
Just a little ditty about two.
The real fucking buzzkill, and they had to bring it up. John Jones out with injury. He's out at UFC 295. Obviously, you're a fight fan, Mr. Taylor. What say you? John Jones out of the main event against Stipe Miocic for the main event of Madison Square Garden. What say you?
What can I say? I mean, he had a chest. Didn't he tear his chest, his pectoral muscle?
I'm so-
And
Right off the
sparring?
bone.
Clear
Right
out.
off the bone.
Yeah.
It sucks. You know, I think John Jones is the best to ever do it. You know, I think he obviously a little bit tarnished his legacy with some of the crazy stuff that happened, but almost all geniuses do that to themselves, to some, you know, they're their own worst enemies. But what can I comment on what do you want me to say? No, it's done.
Fair enough. All right,
Okay.
sir. Are you ready for topic number 3?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, let's go. Topic
Clean that state of my feet. 3.
the fight business and sponsors and sponsorships. So Bud Light is back on the team of UFC. Obviously, it was one of their first big sponsors in 2008, and now they are a sponsor again. And this time around, where Bud Light sponsored the UFC when the UFC needed them the most, now Bud Light is sponsoring when Bud Light needs UFC the most. What say you? Is it strategic? Is it more one side needs more than the other? Or what say you about this business arrangement?
I think Bud Light probably needed the publicity to appeal to a male audience. Again, that was a manly audience, if you want to call it that, you know, and rectify the campaign that they previously did that didn't appeal to people. Where I live, people don't drink Bud Light no more. So
yeah, I have no doubts.
yeah, but Dana said it best. He's like, and you got to love him when he does shoot straight about stuff like this. And they're like, yeah, you're just doing this for the money. It's called a sponsorship. Yeah, it's about the fucking money. So I laughed at that. It's true. Some things are done because they bring money to the table. You know, I mean, it's just I don't know. It made sense for the UFC, and it definitely made sense for Bud Light.
That's silly. Like that is a business relationship, and that's exactly how it works. Yes, it's for the money. They're paying them a sponsorship fee. It's silly that anyone would complain about that at all. And my personal feeling is the first complaint about Bud Light was silly in the first place. You know what I mean? Like it was so minor. It's such a minor thing, and it was their attempt to work for a different audience. And did it fail? Obviously, but it wasn't, in my opinion. I just thought that it was corporate. It was corporate business doing business.
I think there's a movie like The Three Musketeers being made into a new movie, a new version of it, right? And in the I haven't seen this yet, right? I saw it on Twitter, someone say this, but in one of the first opening lines, one of the characters, one of the Musketeers says, "Oh, by the way, I'm bisexual," right?
Ooh, that's awesome. Can't wait.
And it didn't in any way aid the storyline. It didn't develop or go anywhere. It was like, oh, let's be inclusive, and for the fuck of it, just say we're including a bisexual male. You know, that shit people are sick and tired of. They don't want you to force this shit. And Disney kind of has found out from a lot of their woke projects, ultra woke shit, that's just shoving this stuff down anyone's throat is not going to make them accept it more. It's going to make them be more rejecting of it and more repellent of it. So it's like, for me, I've got a really cool trans friend who's dope. Like, you know, happy birthday, how are you, this, that, and the other. And anyway, I won't go into how we met. Oh shit.
Oh shit.
You have to do with the trip to Thailand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's
Go
not like
on.
no. Honestly, she's beautiful. But when I found out at that point, I was just like, no, it's
Wait
not.
a minute.
Huh?
Wait a minute. Is that how you found out? Wait a minute.
Wait
No.
a second.
Yeah, no, she gave amazing head, but no. Just
Greatest guest ever.
No, I think she before anything happened, before anything went down, we had a chat, and I just sensed, I was like, so I asked the question, and she's like, yeah, and it was from one of the dating apps, was Tinder or Bumble or something like that, and I was like, don't you think you should have told me before? And she was like, I'm completely off topic now, but she was like, no, I don't legally have to tell you that. And I said, yes, but look, I'm an evolved human being who I don't care what you do sexually, as long as you're not harming or forcing anyone who's not consenting, or fucking with animals or some shit like that. What we all have our preferences, our kinks, and whatever else. It's not my business, and I don't care, and I won't judge you on I'll judge you on the merit of your personality and how you treat others. That's it, pretty much, right? But I'm not interested in a sexual connection with you at all. Just, it's not my thing. Some people don't like blondes. Some people don't like dicks. Some people like whatever it is, right? So I said, but the problem is there are people who are more insecure, and that's how they turn violent, because they're not sure if they're like, oh, maybe they find you attractive and then they get mad at themselves for finding you attractive and take it out on you. They're not super self-conscious they're not conscious of their own actions or emotions, and they can't identify what's going on in their head and then they'll take it out on you, and then you end up in trouble. So I think it's a good thing to tell someone, especially if you go to the bedroom and they find out. That can lead to all kinds of bad shit, you know, just avoid that. And then I started asking. She was going to do the transition and everything else. So I was curious, and I ordered Thai food already. So we literally spoke for like an hour and a half, and I learned a lot. And to this day, we're homies, you know? So her take on this whole thing is, it sucks. She's like, most people who are out there talking about trans rights being shoved down people's throats. Yes, trans people should just have rights. Being people, you're a human being, have rights. I don't care what you are, what you do, and all that stuff, right? But not everyone sees it that way. But her thing is, the more that this goes on, she's received more hate in the last 5 years than she ever did. She's received more threats and things like that because we're fighting for the wrong causes, to be honest with you. It's not that everyone should have equality, but where we have problems is there's so many bigger things to worry about that are going on in the world rather than I want to be inclusive with someone who identifies as a chandelier, you know, like stop, you know.
100%.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not negating trans rights or anyone's rights. But I think when you put it on America's beer, I understood both sides of what they were trying to do, but at the same time, how it could be taken like, bruh, we're sick of this shit. We don't want this being in our face. We're accepting of it, but we don't want it to be pushed in our face. So anyway, I went on way too long about this topic.
Well, hey, but great answer and great take.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was solid. On point.
And I met a transgender female transitioning at the bar, and she was like, "Oh, how can you tell it's transgender?" I'm like, "Adam's apple, hands that look like Andre the Giant, and legs that are hairy enough to be Robin Williams' knuckles." I mean, so.
And David, tell him the truth. You were comparing dicks in the bathroom. Be honest.
That's very true, sir. Caught.
We struck the room before.
Are you ready for topic number 4?
Let's do it.
Oh.
Yes, sir. All right, let's go to topic
Question 4.
number 4. When does KSI fight again? We heard that Logan Paul, obviously, he has a contract with the WWE, and that's a demanding schedule nevertheless. And shout out to all the pro wrestlers that go through that grind. And KSI said he wants to take time off. But did they give any indication when the next time they'll be able to box on an event again?
I'm pretty confident Logan will fight next year. I'm confident KSI will fight maybe once, maybe twice next year. But the only fights he wants to do are, you know, we're talking Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, Jake Paul. I can't see him wanting to regress and go backwards now at this point. So it's got to be a big fight. But with KSI, our partnership, our friendship, the trust we have, I will never say to him, "Hey man, you have to do this. I'm not going to push him into any direction." So for now, while he said, "Hey, I'm just going to chill. I'm going to relax a little. I've been training my ass off for nonstop and doing music tours and concerts and everything else. He just wants to have a little fun for a month, couple months, whatever it is." And then when he tells me, "Hey, Mams, I want to go back into music, or I want to go back into boxing," or whatever he wants to do, then it's my job to kind of guide what the best options are and bring that to his attention and talk about pros and cons of every decision we make. But yeah, the answer is I believe personally, knowing him, that he'll want to fight again pretty soon. But you never know, you know. So we'll have to wait and see. But Logan, I'm pretty sure will fight again next year as well.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
And how was, because obviously with the WWE contracts, they're very, very strict. Those independent contractor contracts, they don't take kindly for them going to other promotions. What was it like working with the WWE to work around that contract that he has with the WWE? Was it hard? Was it easy? What was the process of going through the channels of the WWE?
I don't think he ever had an issue. I think that was carved out when he did his contract. So I didn't get to deal with the WWE on any of it. I didn't have to. It was all pretty smooth and easy. And they didn't, you know, back in the day when it was WWF, you wouldn't even be allowed to talk about it. And he was on, I don't know if he was on Raw or SmackDown, and he was talking about Dylan Danis, and he acknowledged it. It's like the cool thing is with the evolution of wrestling is they acknowledge the fourth wall a lot more, and they're just, they have to. You have to at this point, you know. But yeah, they were really cool. And honestly, I know Danis is no longer with Bellator, but Coco was a complete gentleman. We made a quick deal. It was easy, and every time we've spoken, he's a really great guy.
Yeah. Scott Coker's one of those guys that everyone talks well about. You don't hear anything bad about Scott very often.
Yeah, very good guy. He's a gentleman for sure.
Very cool. All right, sir, are you ready for the last and final topic?
Let's do it.
All right, Mr. Taylor, let's go. Topic.
Let's make a baby five.
One of our fans actually wrote this. Power Slap is the greatest event of all time. It is wonderful. Gabe and Jake agree with David. They also love and look up to him. Wow, I can't believe wow. I can't believe that this was said by one of our loyal fans. Just busting their balls. But what do you think about Power Slap? What's your personal take on it?
I think some people don't like watching Misfits boxing, and they still complain about it. And I don't get it, because I subscribe to Netflix, HBO, and there's shows I watch which interest me, and the ones that don't interest me, I just won't watch, So I think Dana's someone I've watched his career closely. I've been inspired by it. I've been inspired by a lot of the UFC. So I'm not going to say anything bad. It's not for me personally. I don't find it exciting, to be honest. Sorry to let you down on this, David.
Eat a dick, Potter.
Potter.
But I understand there's a market for everyone. Some people love watching professional fly fishing. Some people love watching bowling competitions, whatever. There's a market for everything. And and if they're doing great and it's being regulated safely, and these guys are they're grown men saying, and grown women saying, we want to do this and slap each other in the face, then God bless them.
Is it a combat sport?
No.
Oh, come on!
I don't know if it's how. I mean, I've never.
No, that was the right answer. That was the right answer.
100%.
It is it's a combative sport. Look at the definition on Google. It is a combative sport.
You have to have combat. You're standing there.
It is combat, slapping each other.
Well, pugilism. Pugilists initially, I don't know if it was Roman times. I don't want to get my history wrong, but ancient history I'm talking, they would sit on these stones and they would be wrapped to these stones, and they would put these version of gloves on that they would call a cestus. And the cestus would be like, it was a lot rougher than 10-ounce gloves or anything like that. And they would be seated and they would take turns punching each other in the face. So that was considered a sport back in the day. So David, you might have an argument for it being a combat sport.
Yeah, but it's still that sport didn't stand the test of time. Boxing, everything else has. Eat a dick, Potter.
Eat 2 dicks, Potter.
Three. We'll add Mams in there too.
Yeah, Mams is throwing a dick in there for you as well. 3. Eat all 3.
And I'm glad that you were able to drop that piece of knowledge, because way before Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, that there was a sport knocking powerful men off their pedestal for sport. So thank you for confirming that. Way before cancel culture. So I'm glad that you confirmed that. I'm actually going to look it up about that punching. Maybe we could start our own league, Mr. Taylor, and Gabe and Jake can be a part of it as hype men or like our secretaries. But we can start something here.
Yeah, let's look into it. Let me know.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right. So getting at the end of the show, Mr. Taylor, thank you so much for joining us and taking time out of your busy day. And congratulations on 1.3 million buys on DAZN. Fucking awesome, man. Setting records, setting the world on fire. So next event, can you plug the next event? Obviously, we want to be there. When's the next event? November 17th, correct?
November 17th, London, England. Misfits and DAZN X Series 011. We got Gabe Silva fighting on there, Anderson's son. He's going to have a tough fight. We got a main event in FaZe Jarvis versus B Dave, and the co-main event between Julie Poker, who's a big Brazilian superstar, and Elena Vampira, who's possibly the Ronda Rousey, the budding Ronda Rousey of our space, pre-Holly Holm.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Mr. Taylor, thank you so much for joining us. and obviously being a friend of Gabe, coming on the show and talking about Misfits and talking about all things. All right, that was. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no,
There he is.
yeah.
Sorry
Thank you
about
guys for having me, Jake and David. Very good to meet you, and Gabe, good seeing you, man. Let's stay in touch.
Hey, congratulations on all your success.
I really appreciate it. I'd love
Yeah.
to have you guys come to an event.
Hell
We're
yeah.
in the States a bunch next year, so I'll definitely invite you guys out.
Well,
Yep.
Mams, I
We'll definitely be there.
Thank you for being on the show, and I am so happy for your success, my man. Like I said, I've known you for a long time, and all I want is success for all my friends. And it's interesting to know that you're making it another avenue in the combat sports, and we'll definitely keep in contact.
100%. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Fucking awesome. Awesome. Fresh
guy,
off 1.3 million buys. Obviously, a great event. We can all confirm that Dylan Danis won that fight by decision, 6 rounds to 0. That's how I scored it. And that Power Slap's the greatest combat sports of all time. So
Yeah,
I appreciate all you guys for confirming that.
Oh,
Hey, we were ranked number 4 on Amazon's top 100, and after you keep running your mouth about Power Slap, we're going to number 10.
it's very
Wait.
possible.
Wait, what was that? What was that? Huh?
Where is Jake's? That's all I want to know. Where is Jake's?
I guess we have to just settle for a classic.
But that's okay, cause we're big dick bandits, 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 big.
That one never gets old.
We are at the end of the show. Final words, final thoughts from the four-time world champion, BJJ Black Belt, and owns one of the best gyms on planet Earth. What's the name of that gym in beautiful Tarzana, California, where you can get a first free trial class, Mr. Gabe?
Happens to be Kaiju MMA and Fitness. And as a matter of fact, November 1, we are having our 6-year anniversary.
Hell yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations, Gabe. All right.
Yeah, no, it's pretty excited about that. And great show. It was fun talking to Mams. I haven't seen that guy or talked to him in years. It's great that he's doing big things, and it was a good show today.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And final words, final thoughts from, at one point in time, considered one of the best fighters in the world, traveling all over the place, the man of the hour, the man with the power, Thunder, Jake Hatton. Final words from you, good sir, and please let it be about how much you love Power Slap.
Jesus Christ, Gabe, I swear to God, if I was there, I would just
Doesn't stop.
my final thoughts, what a great guy. What a very well thought out. Everything he says is very well thought out. And he's just very articulate. I really like what he says, you know, what he was saying about, you know, it is a sport, but he knows it's not Canelo. They know what their arena is, and I love that. And that's why I tune in, because I love the entertainment. You know, it's so much fun. So big shout out to those guys, Misfit, KSI, you know, the Paul brothers, Mams, all those guys. It's a lot of fun to watch. And boxing created this with their fucking greed. If boxing wasn't so greedy and shitty, there wouldn't be a market for this. So I love to see it. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered.
I got to watch it now because I have a friend that's involved in it, which, you know, that's kind of what it takes to get involved in shit now.
All right, boys and girls, we want to thank you so much for joining us on Fight World Live on Amazon Prime, ranked number 4 in the world on Amazon's top 100 sports fan news shows in the world. So download the app, watch the show, watch me, Mr. Gabe, and Jake. Tomorrow we have the weekly bust, bring you some great guests in the world of bare knuckle. For all of us, David Potter, one-time, four-time world champion, Mr. Gabe, and Thunder Jake Hatton. We'll see you next week on Fight World Live on Amazon Prime. We'll see you next week. Peace.